Good morning. Happy hump day. I'm headed to the gym finna do my hour. I woke up a little late. I had drinks last night, that's why. Ugh. And with having those drinks, it kind of pushed you down. I had three martinis last night. I needed them after my day. I needed those, every one of them. I really needed four. But the funds, how they were set up, it wasn't $5 holiday. So I had to pay. I was talking to excuse me. Ugh. Sorry, Chip. I was talking to an old coworker yesterday, and I had messaged her, and she works at the institution that I used to work at, and it's a little far north. So I was asking her if I could Zelle her the money, and she could deposit it for me because I thought she was going into the office, and she was explaining to me how bad the work conditions have gotten, and I could believe it because everybody there was white and they're very cunning, and it's sad. And I feel bad. I thought that, because they be thinking they right. So I thought that she was with that. So I didn't talk to her. And she reached out to me earlier this year after me being gone about a year, and she just was like, "Oh my God, it was horrible. I understand why you left because wouldn't let me put it on her calendar. She was just being very rude. Like, just talk to me in person when I get there." But she wasn't coming in. Like, she was going on vacation and she was working from home. So she never allowed me to, formally quit. And when I was able to tell her, it was on St. Patrick's Day. I let her know, today's gonna be my last day. She's not even gonna give me 2 weeks. About everything. No, I'm not giving you 2 weeks. I've been trying to give you 2 weeks, and you wouldn't allow me to put it on your calendar. When I put it on there, you would take it off. So no, you're not getting 2 weeks. You're getting today. Because if you were gonna fire me, you weren't gonna give me 2 weeks to get another check to pay a bill. You were gonna get me out of here today. So I followed that. I got up out of there. But she was just saying how miserable they're making her. And it's sad that companies are able to do that. People live in spaces, if they're able to do that, it should be a consequence. And she's saying that the boss is reaching out to her, retaliating, saying what he gonna do. You can't threaten me as an employer. You can't do that. I told her to go to the Department of Human Rights. And she's like, "Oh, I've heard of that place. What if we do? They're gonna help you." She like, "But what if he retaliates? Then he gonna get in trouble." Like, I ain't a fan of Hispanic women, but I don't want nobody to be just, mistreated. And that's wrong what he's doing to her. And she's so tiny. Like, I didn't have any problems with her, but I just never tried to bond with her. One, she was Hispanic. They hate black women. And then two, she was working with them white people. I thought that, she had been there for years before I came. I thought she was clicked in, when in reality they were making her life hell too. I feel bad for her. But I told her to go to the Department of Human Rights. She like, they won't even let me come in the office. She's worried about being unemployed soon. Girl, go get you some unemployment for 6 or 7 months, a year. Go debrief from that job and go back out there again. Put on your best, your best foot forward. But don't let them stop you from, making your money or, doing none of that. Girl, they'll get so sick of me. You want to threaten me, I'm going to threaten you back. And he's an older white man. He was one of them white men that was with that little black girl that went to school that were chanting probably not to let black people in the school. He's that age. That's why I say all of them have to die or they have to die out because it's like a plague. They spread it to their kids and so on and so on. But it is definitely, it's a disease that white people have. And until all of the bloodline of that is gone, that's why even in the house, with the Senate and all that. You got to get them old racist folks out of there because they're a danger and a threat to society. They really are. And people think that they're not. White men are the biggest threat. White people, yeah. So I was telling her, baby, if your course then ran, get on up out of there. But don't let him threaten your livelihood, telling you he's gonna take you to court. How the hell you gonna take me to court? I'm reporting you. You're doing something wrong to me. You're mistreating me. You're picking with me with my work. That shit sounded so crazy when she said that. And I said, you think that it's justifiable if he's threatening to sue you? She like, no, but he said he will. Girl, he can't sue you. He can't sue you for threatening your employment and the job. It's a small company. Sue all of them. Go to the Department of Human Rights and blow the whistle on that shit. So that the next person that coming out, if they're a minority, they ain't got to deal with that. But I knew early on it wasn't for me. I stayed 1 year exactly. I was like, oh hell no. Everybody here white. Everybody here weird. The one or two black people there were weird or had white spouses, so weird. Let me get my ass out of here. I didn't fit there. And when I got there, she had children on her desk that were black. So I was like, it didn't make sense the demographic that she said she grew up in. She said she grew up in Wisconsin. And if you grew up in Wisconsin, I know you really racist. And I know that you ain't got no black family. You ain't got no black friends, really. You probably have black coworkers because of affirmative action back then, but that's been gutted. So if you're living in Wisconsin, you are a racist and you're white. You are. And when she had them black kids up there, I was like, oh, well, maybe, but I know what I know and and it all came to terms. She was like, oh, yeah, I gave my son up for adoption. Bingo. That's how you got black kids. He ended up with a family that allowed him to congregate with black people. And he had black kids. And girl, all she would talk about is how she didn't like the black woman. Newsflash, I'm sure she don't like your big slouchy ass either. You went on a trip for a fountain of youth, and instead of dipping your body, you drank it, and you came back with COVID and thought you was going to be in the office with everybody with COVID because your nasty ass decided to drink water that everybody had put their butt in. That didn't even make sense. So yeah, but I knew what I knew when I sent those pictures. I was like, oh, she had black grandkid. It wasn't making any sense. And then when she started to divulge her personal business, I was like, bingo, you didn't raise him. No wonder. No wonder he has black children and he is probably semi decent because he wasn't under your tutelage. And she probably had some money because her dad, and that's what she would comment on at times that her dad had left her money, her brothers and them money, and they messed it up, but she still had hers. So yeah, she had a little bit of wealth. She has a little bit of wealth and she looks to live below her means. But she has a house up north. Like she has some of the qualities. She would show me her flowers, and it's like I tried to be nice to her, but sometimes she would talk to me crazy, and I would tell her, "I'm not gonna do this with you, and don't speak to me that way." Because outside of here, I don't care that you 50, whatever. I'd knock your head in between the washer and the dryer, and we'll fight, and I won't be able to work nowhere, and I don't want that. So, ma'am, watch your tone, because I'm not talking to you that way. And it just had happened too many times with her tone. And I just was like, yep, let me get the hell up out of here. So I did 1 year and 1 month exactly. And I got the hell on. And I didn't feel bad. I didn't look back when I would go back. But see, what I knew is when I would look at the files that I was working on, it was so many names. That position, she said, I've been gone a year. She said they didn't had two people in there. She said they had got another black person after I left, and now it's a white man in there. And the white man said that, oh, I can go toe to toe for her. He's gay, like, so she's not gonna try that with me. Baby, I ain't got time to be going toe to toe arguing with you. None of that. Get the hell on, take this position. And it wasn't paying number $30, baby, an hour. Go ahead. And then after you get there, medical, dental, and insurance, that shit was so high because the company was so small. It was back like you were making nothing, even less than nothing. So yeah, you can have this. And I got my ass up out of there. I did. It's 7 o'clock. I wanted to be here earlier. But I didn't made it to the gym, y'all. I have to go in here and work my life out. Work my life out. Yesterday I only did like 40 minutes. I can't look. This shit's so crazy. Now it said manually start the car because I took my seatbelt off. So the fucking car cut off in the lane. Like I'm trying to pull through the lot and it cut off. This shit. And people get annoyed. They don't realize that automatic start. Once I took that seatbelt off, that shit cut off. But yeah, I feel bad for her. But I was sure like, oh, if she answered, I'ma zell her. I hope she didn't think it was weird that I was asking that because I didn't want to ride way up north. But I ended up doing it anyway, and I got my deposit in my car insurance said hit check. Keep stuff on automatic like I got it like that, and I don't. I absolutely don't have it like that. All right, Chad, I'm about to go ahead and get my life. I hope everybody does some type of movement today, something that makes you happy, something that makes you productive, I suppose. Because I'm headed in to do, man. Baby, I'm taking these water bottles that drive me crazy. And I ain't gonna act like I don't be thirsty in here, but I feel like I can't work out with all that water on my stomach because it'll make noise and it's jiggling. And yeah, I don't gotta do all that. I leave all my things in the car. I take nothing really in here. I put chapstick on my lip, little EOS before I get out.